everyone. Welcome back to Sit Fearlessly. Woo woo! We're so happy to be back, and I'm so happy to have you back, Gigi.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Oh my God. So as we all know, it is summertime. It is scorching hot. So we are just trying to survive and stay cool as much as we can. So I hope you guys are doing the same. There is also so much going on. I don't know what's in the energy, what's in the space, but I just want to send everybody my love, everyone who is struggling right now, everyone who is going through things. This is like a vibe check, an energy check, and I just want to send y'all a lot of love because there is something in the air, and just stay strong. We're going to get through this, y'all. We all going to get through this. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that because there's a lot happening right now. Like the conversations I'm having is like it's okay, we're going to get through it, y'all, together. Yes, but also, a little plug real quick. August 10th, we are having our Dubai event. So make sure that you guys tap in, check in for the dates, all of that good stuff. We want to see all of you guys pull up there. We have Vina Love performing, who is our headlining artist for our Dubai project. We have our other headlining artist, which is Maestro Frio, coming straight from St. Louis. And we have so many special invited guests. So I want to make sure that you guys tap in. That is on Sunday, August 10th, and it's going to be at Cakes. NYC in Long Island City. And shout out to Cakes because they also extended their venue and they opened up a new beautiful venue that's right around the block. So definitely you guys check them out. So shout out to Cakes for hosting us. Shout out to my business partner, Excel. And we also can't wait to see y'all in Dubai. Make sure y'all tap in. We are literally 2 months away. So make sure you guys are registering if you want to come through, and check in with me for more information, all right? I want to see all you guys there. We're all going to turn up and have fun in Dubai. All right? But without further ado, I am so happy to be back, and we have a very special guest here with us today. So we have Miss Morena George.
Hi, how are you?
So I want to thank you so much for taking out the time and coming and sitting with us. I know we were back and forth a little bit, so I'm so glad that it worked out.
It was my pleasure.
Yes. So we're just going to dive right in.
Go for it.
Okay. So you do so many amazing things. And also shout out to the BU Fest because that is where we met you.
Yes.
So I made sure to stay in touch because I wanted to share your story with everybody. So actually, before we even dive into questions, share a little bit with us about yourself, what you do, and what makes you Morena George.
Okay. So first and foremost, I'm a creative, all around creative entrepreneur. One of the things that I graduated Fordham University with criminology and sociology with a visual arts minor. Most people don't know that. But as life changes your path, I kind of veered into acting after I had my bachelor's, and ultimately dove right in, never looked back, and went and trained under the William Esper Studios, under the guidance of Bill Esper. Did a training there, did a master program there, then headed off to Los Angeles, and ever since then have been either in front of the screen or behind the screen, because one of the things that I do want to just teach people is that we as people of color come in all different areas, all different careers, and we really expand and have excellence in all different areas. So I dove into writing, ultimately went into producing, ultimately went into directing, assistant directing, and still while maintaining my acting career. And then ultimately came back to New York and created a whole other business in the food industry that I did not intend or think of doing, and ventured out into the Airbnb business as well. So that is all, I'm at the end a creative and a hard worker, daughter of immigrants. I think that's something that is very important to share in today's society, and especially in what's going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
And I'm so glad that you added that factor of being a daughter of immigrant parents, because it's kind of been a recurring theme in some of the guests that we've been having. And I love that because it shows that our parents sacrificed to come here in this country, and we are here doing the damn thing and making them proud.
Right.
Correct.
So thank you for that. Yes,
Thank you.
yes. But you are doing so much. Congratulations.
Thank
yes, yes. And doing research on you, you're just in so many rooms, so many. You build them, you design them, you star in them, and sometimes cater the damn seat too, right?
I do.
Yes.
So you need food? I got you.
Exactly.
You need makeup? I got you. And if I don't got got you. I got somebody else
that got you.
Right.
So when did you first realize that you were meant to fit in one lane? Because before you answer that, there's so many times when people want to put us in a box. Stay in one lane, stay in your lane, as they say, right? What made you know that you just weren't that type of person to just be in a box?
I think it's a difficult path because I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I wasn't really on that one path. And it's because people put you in a box for so long that you feel that you can't be a master of certain trades. People say, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. So you end up thinking like, oh, am I really giving it my all to the certain areas that I want to kind of go into? And a part of you thinks that if you haven't maybe specialized, and what I mean by specialization is like going to school for it, then you feel like you're disqualified or you're not credited enough to go into that field. And I think that really became a test in Los Angeles. When I moved to Los Angeles, I really got to learn how very few characters or roles there were for women of color. You know, it was very stereotypical, whether I'm the gang leader, whether I'm the prostitute, whether I'm the troubled teen or the teen mom, you know, all these different things end up being very similar. And I'm like, where are the doctors? Where are the lawyers? Where are the journalists? Where's the rookie? Where's the, you know, intern? Like, I've been all these things in some capacity, because, you know, as a daughter of immigrants, like we stated, we've been the translator, we've been the therapist to our family, we've been all these different things. So we're like, where is it? And I didn't feel capable of writing because I was like, I didn't go to writing school. I didn't train for that. And it wasn't until I think someone that I revered as a writer that was credited, that was like, no, you can write. And then I was like, damn, I can write. But why I need him to say it, though? You know what I mean? And that was something that I was like, no, you need to just feel and tap into these abilities that you've been gifted, because I definitely feel like I've been gifted with the proper tools to execute the lanes that I've decided to go into, and let the product be the testament. Let me fail forward, because we are going to fail. But, you know, it's a matter of how do we do it and how do we execute it and how do we learn from the failures. And that's the mastery for me. That's where the mastery comes from.
Absolutely. Learn from your failures, literally. We have to fail in order to succeed. A lot of people don't understand that. Like, everything is not going to be perfect. That's where the lesson is. That's where you learn. That's when you grow. So thank you for sharing that. So you guys pay attention. Take notes. Yes. So from the South Bronx to the big screen, to a bomb-ass restaurant in Queens.
From Queens. Well, actually, I was raised in Harlem. 145th between Broadway and Amsterdam. Shout out to that building, 528 West. And then to Corona, Queens. And then from Corona, Queens to Sherman Oaks, Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
And then back to Corona,
back to New York. I love it. So if your life was like a movie trailer, what would your tagline be?
Ooh, damn, you put me on the hot seat. I'm like, a movie trailer. My tagline, I think I would say, watch me work.
I love that. I love that. Yes. So out of so many roles that you've played, like from the courtroom to animated, all of that, like what role cracked something open in you that and pulled something out of you that you didn't know you had in you as an artist?
I think I want to highlight two. One in particular, which was the first venture for me to deal with sci-fi. I was never a person that was innately interested in sci-fi. Like, I wasn't the Star Trek watcher, you know. And when I booked Keep Delete by Chris Gauthier, which was another fellow Dominicana, that I was like, hey, you know, we in here. And she's brilliant. And the ability of still being grounded and physically present and acting when you don't have what's there.
Right.
You know, I think sometimes we don't give credit to a lot of actors where we're recreating and feeling all what we need to feel in that moment without having, whether it's the person or whether it's the actual touch, Because I remember there were so many different physical things that I had to do in that one scene. That's a oneer, so we never cut. So that in itself was like, oh, okay, we're gonna do no errors. Okay,
Right.
let's find the magic. And we definitely executed that beautifully. And even in the moments where you might have a mishap, you still got to push through. And there was a beautiful moment in that scene where I flubbed on a word and I laughed, and my counterpart corrected me, and we just worked off of it, and that was the scene and the act they actually chose, the take, which was beautiful. So I think the fact of doing something and working with something that's not physically present was something that challenged me. And I think Ultraviolet in Black Scorpion, where I played Cascada and Catalina, when it came to emotional life, I was always very confident and I really felt secure. But when it came down to doing a lot of stunts and having a lot of physicality involved,
Right.
along with so much memory, because Disney don't play. They want everything word for word.
Right.
And so it was a lot of discipline. And, we filmed in New Orleans, so I was filming for 4 months. And being in a new state, in a new place, it's so rich with history, with food, with music, you're tempted to be like, I'm going to go out hanging out. I'm going to do And it's like, no, girl, you got to sit
gotta
down and remember
focus.
these lines.
Yeah.
So ultimately, because that's the thing with acting, is that if you don't have it in your body, the words, once you start physicalizing it, it will go out of your mind. It will
Right.
just escape you. And then you have that blank moment, and that is a fear of being a deer in the headlights, not having your lines, and everyone's and we're rolling. So I think really buckling down, really getting the language in my body, and then on top of it, putting the physicalization of the stunts, that challenged me. And I was very excited. And I lost a lot of weight, which I was like, hey, girl, she a baddie now. I got abs. What? They're gone now because, we indulged.
You celebrated after you were done.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, how do you balance it all? That is the question.
I think organization.
Okay.
Organization is my biggest ally. It's definitely my greatest strength. And one of the things that I always say is, exploit your strengths and hide your weaknesses.
Right.
So when you don't feel confident, like editing, girl, you talked about editing a little earlier. I was like, I don't edit. I will be in the editor's room. I will be like, can you make that hand disappear? How you did it? Don't know.
Right.
But that's one of the things that the organization, like a planner, I'm still old school. I'm still in the 90s. I have a planner for every year. I write every single thing down. So believe me, your interview today, 2:30, BronxNet, was in my planner. And that's how it keeps me organized.
Yeah.
And also waking up early. I can't emphasize it enough. That has changed my level of execution.
Yeah.
Of the fact that going to sleep early, waking up early, being asleep by 10, being up by 6, that really changed the level of, or I should say the amount of things that I was able to execute in a day.
Yeah, utilize the time, utilize your hours.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I live by that. As I've mentioned this, like I live by my checklist. If I don't have my checklist, I don't know who I am for that day. I don't know who I am, where I belong, where I'm going, what am I doing, where's my mind, what is next. Oh no, my checklist, like I'm so glad that phones, update overnight,
Yeah.
because God forbid I lose my phone. I can get a new one and download everything and put it right back in there. But organization is key. Organization is key, y'all. We can do it all. And stay hydrated and eat healthy too, because what you're putting in your body definitely affects the way you feel, the way you act, what time you wake up, everything.
And
your
how you
energy,
think.
how you think, all of
Definitely how you
that.
think.
Yes,
I think that's the
yes.
hardest, I probably want to say.
Yeah.
Is that the organization is there, but balancing your diet
Yes.
and balancing your self-care. That's something that I can probably say has been the greatest challenge in
Yeah.
doing so much with so little time. Even in
Yes.
waking up early, then now I have to allocate, when do I eat? What do I eat? And I gotta tell y'all, New York, y'all hard.
Super. Super.
LA, I could just grab a smoothie in every corner.
Right. Yes. It's so true.
know.
That's so true. Well, speaking of food,
Great segue.
Morena's Kitchen. Oh my God, you have to invite us.
Yes,
Like,
please do.
Oh my God.
It's in Corona, Queens, y'all.
I
4 blocks
love
away
this.
from City Field.
Yes. Oh my God, I love this. So it isn't just a restaurant; it's a whole vibe, and I can't wait to check it out. So, what inspired you to open up a restaurant, coming from a totally other different industry?
Insanity. That's what it's like.
Right.
No, I could say family. Family was the core.
Okay.
It was the opportunity that presented itself where a restaurant became available. It was being sold, and my younger brother ended up loving the culinary arts when I took him out to live with me in Los Angeles for a year. So he came out, I think it was in 2012, something like that. And he wanted to eat, and I was like, yeah, I don't make that. You want to go ahead and learn. And so I taught him different dishes, and then he was like, oh, so how do I do this? And I was like, okay. So he ended up extending it, going full throttle. When he came back to New York, I reached out to a friend of mine who's a self-made chef, and he put him under his wing. They ended up being part of the team that was responsible with Osomoko, that's in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. They got their Michelin star within 6 months. So it was a really great just accolade for him. And in the end, the opportunity came up. My father gave me a call. He was like, hey, so your brother wants to have his own thing, and you want to go ahead. And I was in the place to buy a home at that time. And I ended up, like a true immigrant daughter. I was like, ¿qué? Que yo no puedo comprar una casa con otra casa. Okay.
Right.
Okay, un negocio. Okay, está bien. And then I just dove right in. And thankfully, my mother and my aunt both love the culinary arts just as much as me and my brother. And so that was one of the reasons why we named it Morena's Kitchen as a tribute to my mom. That's her name.
Wow.
I also wanted it to be a name that people become familiar with love.
Right.
Because there is so much colorism in our community, and especially in Dominican Republic.
Yes.
So I wanted to highlight that Morena means love, and it always meant love in my household.
Right.
So something like that, I was like, what beautiful thing to create around honoring my mother, but at the same time embracing a word that has been stigmatized or given some sort of negativity to a positive just influence and overall, I want to say experience for anyone walking in through those doors.
I love that.
What type of food do you guys serve? It's like cultural Dominican
It's
food?
all cultural. It's all family recipes, so they're all Dominican dishes, highlighting either my mother, my aunt, or my brother. And let me tell you, they are very serious about their recipes. And I have to step in, and I'm like, look, we can't speak about the chicharrón de cerdo because that's tias. And everybody loves it. We're not messing with it. It is a seller, so that's it. The meatballs are my brother's. The chimi is my brother's recipe. My mom is a bistec cebollado. The camarón fongo is my aunt's. Like, it's a beautiful just highlight of all the top dishes. And I know mofongo's Puerto Rican, but we make it too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that that's a traditional Dominican dish. My social media manager was like ripped to shreds on one of his posts. And I had to be like, you're not wrong though. Like, just so you know.
Right.
We just do a version and it's just as good, if not better. I didn't say that.
I cannot wait to try everything.
Yes. Please come.
So did the restaurant inspire the Latin Dish podcast?
No, funny enough, that is just super, wow, you threw it back for me. I was like, so the Latin Dish podcast, I had never really even thought of podcasting or even being a host. I was a host in my earlier years because I did the Faith Film Festival. That was a festival that was done out here in Brooklyn through NET. It was like the New Evangelo Network or something like that. It was so long, TV. It was in Cablevision and Time Warner. And I said, oh, they called me my voiceover agent, funny enough, contacted me and said, there's a podcast going on. Would you be interested? And I said, sure, what the hell? It was, I think it was, no, we were still before the pandemic. I think it was 2019. And it was really fun because it was an audition with all different Latinas that were in Los Angeles. and you don't necessarily see too many Latinas, I want to say, especially in LA, really embrace each other and really promote sisterhood.
Yeah.
And to be all different from different walks of life, that was a lot of fun. And what we were doing, we were hired, 3 of us, and we had to highlight all different topics within the Latin world. So it didn't necessarily have to do with food, even though we did a food episode. It was just everything Latin. And we were dishing it out. That was the name stem from Latin dish. But it was a lot of fun.
So you guys don't do it anymore?
We don't.
Oh, okay.
We don't.
Because I was going to ask you, I'm like, if we were to pull up to the table right now with a mic, some mofongo, like what would be like the realest conversation? If you were doing it right now, let's say. What would be the realest conversation you would talk about community-wise right now?
Community-wise, I definitely would touch on the deportation that's going on. I think that's a topic that needs to be talked about, that needs to be really put in the forefront.
Yeah.
You know, because I think we have become desensitized of a lot.
Absolutely.
Because we've heard so much. You know, it's like when we hear mass shooting, we no longer really pay attention to it or even really rise up as a community against it. You know, it's kind of like one of many. You know, I think Columbine started that whole thing, and then now we're just, I want to say, uninterested. So I think it is mass media doing purposely to bringing it so much in the forefront where the impact you don't really get. And me having the dynamic of being in New York, but being in LA for the last 15 years, and having friends of mine who are stepping in and you know, having people that they've known their whole lives afraid to go to work because of them stripping them, you know, from their families. That's super important. And and I can see it in the restaurant business. I can see the impact in my community at how very few people are out eating these days because of that fear. And even employees
I was just gonna ask
as well,
about that.
where employees are like, oh, well, you know, is it okay? And this is the thing, is that everyone here typically is in some way on the path to get their citizenship, you know what I'm saying? Or their residency, or their visa. So it's not like, you know, it's everyone that's came illegally, that's not doing anything. No, these are people that are hardworking, that are actually going in the days, and I understand the dynamic, the other side of the coin, being an American, being a citizen, and how some rights have been given to some that haven't even been here that long, that you yourself as a person, for example, that have worked for 20 plus years and not get the insurance that you should get, but someone new, you know, so I think that in itself needs to be talked about. Because it's like, if someone's health is able to, let's say if it's a life and death situation, would you, if that was your mother, not want them here to be given the care?
Exactly.
And I think when it's far removed, no one really thinks about it.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a topic that I would talk about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I can imagine as restaurant owners, especially, you know, because a lot of immigrants do work in the food industry and hospitality industry. So I could imagine like the fear of them being hired, and I'm sure the questions they're asking now are different and related to immigration and things like that. So wow, yeah, it's really crazy. But
I can say my father does immigration stuff. So I was raised going down to Congress and him filing out paperwork. So it's something where my father has the ability to assist. And that's one of those things that now I've seen my father where it's like, I don't know if you should show up to court. Because he himself doesn't have the answers. Because now it's a free-for-all. No one's following the rules. No one's following the law. So it's like, what is there to protect you?
But we definitely will continue that conversation next time, because that is a deeper one. But we don't have much time left. But I did want to ask you, you're disrupting a lot of spaces, especially being so open and vocal and talking about, you know, these type of things. And you're not just representing like Afro-Latinas, you're also creating blueprints for us. So what does legacy look like for you?
Generational wealth.
Yes. Generational wealth.
I think, you know, my brother has laundromats called Legacy.
Ooh, yes.
He has 3. And my father, it was a stem from my father's business of taxes and a multi-service company that he had called Legacy Multi-Services. So legacy is a very near and dear word for me. And what it is to be able to do what my parents did for the next generation, which was make the path easier.
Yeah.
Make the path more outlined, where you don't have the questions and you do have an outright blueprint that you can potentially follow to
Yeah.
success and not struggle just as much as the
love
one
that.
before that.
I love that. You know that is my biggest stress on a day-to-day basis is the legacy that I'm leaving and making sure that I make it easier for my children, for their children, and so on and so forth. Because especially, you know, thinking about my parents coming here and making me here so I can have these opportunities. I don't want to let them down. So I want to
Yeah.
do like the best that I can so that my children can benefit from that and so on and so forth. So that is the thing that does not let me sleep at night and keeps me stressed every single day, especially as the years go by, because I'm like, can we stop the clock? Like,
Oh my God. I'm like, why? How are we more than half in the year?
Exactly.
I just celebrated January.
Yes.
How are we almost
Yes.
midway?
So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to your family, because all of you are making change and creating impact and legacy, leaving legacy. So thank you so much.
Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
Thank you, ladies.
Yes.
Thank
We
you
have
for
to bring you
having me.
back for part 2.
Yes, absolutely. It'd be my pleasure.
Yes. So we only have about a minute. So let everyone know where they can follow you and if you have any upcoming projects.
Okay. Well, you can follow me at Lorena Jorge 22 on IG. That's where I'm most active. You can find me on Facebook, but not as active on there. It might take you months to get back to you, where it could take me back a day on IG. So I definitely recommend IG. Morena's Kitchen is IG as well, has an _, Morena's Kitchen _. You can catch any upcoming events that we will be having in the actual restaurant, which is going to be fantastic. We're going to do Típico Night, which is going to be fun, poetry, comedy, a little bit of everything. And as far as Lorraine Studios, I also have as a company to really initiate just people that are interested in our field of acting and entertainment, how to get your headshots, how to really get an agent, all these different things that there is no blueprint. So we make it a little easier.
I love that. Yeah. So everybody, make sure that you follow Lorena Jorge. I'll make sure I say that like that. Yes. And thank you guys for watching Sip Fearlessly. This has been another great episode.
Yes.
Thank you all for, you know, just following us, supporting us, you know, supporting our platform. We really appreciate it. We put a lot of love into this, so we definitely appreciate it. So see you guys next time.
Bye.